Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our monthly yoga class with Charnette. Today, Charnette's going to be doing a hip opener class, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so then without any further ado, I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay. Thank you, Keiko. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Charnette. This morning we are going to get into the hips. I'd like for us to actually get started in a seated position. So if you're not seated already, come to a comfortable seat. I like to have something like a block, a bolster, a pillow, a blanket, maybe something just that you can sit up on your sit bones and allow your legs to droop open just a little bit. If this doesn't feel good to your knees, you can also sit on your shins in what's called a hero's pose. Any comfortable position. We just want to sit here for a moment at the beginning of our practice and ground ourselves. So, to ground ourselves, we're going to tune into the breath. So, rest your hands on your legs wherever they are. Close the eyes. Try to sit up nice and tall and take a deep breath in through your nose. Breathe out through the mouth. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the mouth. One more time. Breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. Good day. Now, take an inhale through the nose. This time, breathe out through the nose. Breathe in through the nose. And breathe out through the nose. Sealing the lips, keep breathing in and breathing out of the nose. We're going to practice what's called Ujjayi breath during our hip opening class. It's an oceanic breath where you inhale and exhale through the nose. And there's a slight constriction of the throat, so you'll be able to hear your breath. Yeah, and that's just a great tool. It helps us tune in and stay focused. And we're going to be moving through the hips, dynamic stretching. So we want to be really tuned in and making sure that we're breathing slowly and deep. If at any point in our practice you notice that your breath starts to get kind of short, maybe back out of the pose. I'm here to guide you. You do not have to do anything that I tell you. Listen to your body. Listen to your breath, okay? So take one more full deep inhale through the nose, right here seated, grounded, and exhaling through the nose, sitting up just a little bit taller. Good. Bring your hands to your hips. You can flutter your eyes open if they're not already. And you want your fingertips right at the front of your hip bones and your thumbs pointing right into the back of your hips. You're going to inhale to sit a little bit forward, send your heart space forward and your elbows back. And as you breathe out, tuck everything under, sending the hip bones more forward. Hold on to your hips wherever you are. Send your heart forward as you breathe in. Send your heart back as you breathe out. Almost like the seated cat-cow, moving through the hips, rolling through the pelvis. Noticing where that center line is, and we're also warming up through the spine. So breathing in and out of the nose, moving with your breath. I'm moving kind of fast. You can move a little bit slower. Whatever feels good. When you're ready, go ahead and come to stillness and just wiggle up to sit a little bit taller out of your waist. Roll the shoulders down away from the ears and just sit up nice and tall, pressing the hip bones down towards the earth and the crown of your head high towards the sky. Good. Remove the block or bolster from your seat if you had one. I just had a little thing that's so comfortable. It's full of buckwheat. And be planted on towards the earth. If you're in that hero's pose, come on down. And if you can, your legs out one in front of the other. You guys can see my feet. Okay, we're going to go into this gentle hip opener. It's a way to kind of rock the body and gently warm up through the hip joint. So take one foot. I'm going to start with my right. I'm going to grab my foot and bring it into the inside of my elbow, the opposite arm, say the left arm. And you're going to wrap your arm around your knee and pull the leg in towards the chest. This might be plenty. This might be just as far as you need to go. From here, breathe in and out of the nose deep, full deep inhales and exhales. If you want to go a little bit further, you can pull the knee up or the foot up and then a little bit closer. Just a little bit more of a like straight L shape. Wherever you are, try to sit up nice and tall. Breathe in and out of the nose. We'll be here for 5 deep breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. Maybe bringing a little gentle rock to your cradle. Good. Keep breathing in. Full inhale, sit up tall. And exhale. One more round of breath, full breath. And then exhale to release the leg right back down. Let's switch to the other foot. Lifting that foot up and bringing it to the inside of the elbow. And you know what, if that's not accessible, it's perfectly fine if it's on the forearm. We're just working it to be a little bit closer to the heart. And then you bring that other arm around and kind of cradle it. It's kind of like holding a little baby. Just, you know, find a little movement, a little rock. Wherever you are, sit up nice and tall. Bring your sit bones down towards the earth. Bring your heart space a little more forward. And come to the breath. Allow that breath to bring that release. It may be pretty tight here. You may feel like, oh, it's early, I'm stiff. Well, allow the breath to bring ease to this cradle rocking pose. Breathe into the sensation that you feel in your hip. Try to sit up really tall. Bring the heart more forward. Let's take 2 more deep rounds of breath. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the nose. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good. And then go ahead and relax. That leg can come on back down. The palms of the feet, the backs of the feet are going to come together to touch. Cobbler's pose. Can you see? Okay, you can see my feet. So bring your hands to the outsides of your feet. Interlace the hands if you can. And try to pull your heart space again through the arms. Shoulders away from your ears. Sit up nice and tall. Breathe in. And breathe out through the nose. Allowing your knees to melt away from each other and towards the earth more. Sitting up tall. Breathing in. And breathing out of the nose. Good. Slowly and gently release, bringing your palms to the outsides of your knees and bring them together to touch. You're going to bring yourself back to on all fours just for a moment here. We're going to warm up through the spine with some cat-cow. Moving the hips forward and back. So on the inhale, you want to send your heart space forward, let your belly sag and send your tailbone up high towards the sky. As you breathe out, tuck everything under and bring your gaze, look at your belly button, send your hips more forward. Inhale, the belly sags and the bottom zooms up high towards the sky. And then on the exhale, keep pressing the earth away. So take a couple rounds like this, moving with your breath, trying to find harmony between the breath and the movement. So as you breathe in, you send your heart space forward. As long as it takes you to breathe in, that's as long as you're moving. And as long as it takes you to breathe out, you tuck everything under and send your heart towards the sky. Wherever you are, just follow your breath, your rhythm of breath. On your next exhale, I want you to come to a neutral tabletop. So just looking down between your thumbs. You're going to bring your toes together to touch. Walk your knees a little bit wider, about as wide as the mat, and send your hips back, your heart towards the earth. Find child's pose. This is a really beautiful restorative hip opener. And this allows us to connect to the earth, allow the hips to melt a little bit heavier towards the earth. Coming again back to the breath. Notice that you can feel the breath coming back towards you as you breathe here, your forehead towards the earth, fingertips stretched out long towards the top of your mat. And allow the top of your feet to be pressing on the mat. So not lifted up here, but tops of feet down on the earth. That way your hips can melt a little bit closer. Maybe take a gentle wiggle side to side in the hips. So lean to the left, lean to the right. Wiggle through the hips and then sit back, sit deeper. Allow your inhales to really fill up through the back of the heart space, and those exhales again, melting hips a little bit deeper, closer to your heels. And come back to your breath. Good. As you breathe in, you're going to gently walk your fingertips up. Or not walk your fingertips up. Walk your body up towards your fingertips, right? And we're going to bring your right leg forward between your hands. From here, you're going to take your left hand underneath, I'll show you, underneath your right leg and grab onto the inside of your right elbow. Okay, so you've got this shape underneath your right leg. All right, so we're getting into the hips here. We're going to send the hips a little bit more forward. Send your heart space up and forward. So be looking straight forward, straight ahead of you. Take an inhale, stay connected. Keep your heart connected to your thigh. Breathe into that space in your hips as you're sending the hips more forward and down. Keep pressing your right heel down. Maybe you can find a little bit more space and send the hips a little more forward. Or maybe you're staying up and keeping them really square and really strong here. Wherever you are, tune back into the breath. One full, complete inhale. You can even feel your belly expand against your thigh, breathing in and breathing out, noticing that contraction. Good. Go ahead and release the left fingertips from the inside of your right elbow and bring the left hand back down. So you have hands on either side of your right foot. We're going to find that runner's stretch. So scoot your right toes forward a couple inches ahead of your fingertips, and then send the hips back. The right leg straightens, flexing through the right foot. Bowing your heart. Runner's stretch here. Got to get through the back of those, those hamstrings. You guys, I went roller skating last night, but I'm a little bit sore. I'm feeling it. It's feeling real good. Coming back to the breath. Always a good reason to be on the mat. My body really needed it today. As you inhale, roll on back forward so you're bending that right knee one more time. And you're just going to place the hands to switch legs. Bring the left foot forward between the hands. Both legs are bent. And if you're having any pressure underneath the knees when they're on the earth, you can fold your mat over or whatever you're using. Maybe put a blanket underneath your knees. From here, take your right hand and grab onto the inside of your left elbow underneath your left thigh. Keep the heart space connected to the thigh and send the hips a little bit more forward. Lift up away, so lift your heart space away, but stay connected to the thigh. Breathing in and out of the nose. Maybe sending the hips a little bit more forward. We're staying really connected. We're staying grounded here. We're going to lift our hearts later in our practice, but for now we're starting our practice really rooted, working through the hips, staying connected, inward work first. Yeah. So coming back to the breath, one more full inhale, feel your belly really expand, press against that thigh, breathing in, full breath. Exhale that contraction, and then we'll go ahead and release the palm to the other side of left foot. And scooch your toes forward just a couple inches, maybe just above your fingertips, ahead of your fingertips, and then send the hips on back. Find that runner's stretch. Ooh, yeah, breathing, easy, gentle. That left leg is working to be straight, but it may not be straight. Keep your heart connected to your thigh. Keep flexing through that left foot. Breathing. Good, keep breathing. And then as you breathe in, you're gonna roll everything back forward so that left knee bends again and send the left foot back. Go back through the cat-cow. Send the heart space forward. Exhale, tuck everything under. One more, heart space forward. And then come to neutral with your spine. Send your legs straight back, first going into a plank position. And then send the hips up to find downward facing dog. Spread your fingertips wide and maybe pedal through the feet. Might feel good. Relax the neck, maybe shake the head. Yes, no. Relax the spine. Giving the hips just a little break here. Downward facing dog. Keep breathing. As you breathe in, you're going to bring your right foot forward between your hands at the top of the mat. From here, you're going to bring the left knee back down. So you're in a little bit wider lunge stretch. Untuck your left toes. Walk your hands up to your right knee. So now we're opening up a little bit here. You can keep your hands here, planted on your right knee, or you can raise the left arm up high towards the sky, rolling that shoulder on towards the back so you can really open through your heart space, sending the hips more down and forward. Keep sending the right hip back, the left hip forward. Hips are more square. Breathing in and breathing out of the nose. Maybe you can even bring both hands up. Maybe keeping the hands right here. Still powerful, intense, strong breath. Exhale, release, hands come back down. You're just going to straighten that right leg one more time, flexing again that right foot back to that runner stretch. Make sure your foot is a little bit more forward of your fingertips. A little bit more open now, a little bit. Coming back to the breath, flexing through that right foot. Trying to get our heart closer to the right knee. Shoulders more square with the right foot. One more big inhale. And then exhale, release the hips, come back forward. You can go back to plank just for a moment, strong core. Then downward facing dog. Good. Take a deep breath and bring your left toes forward between your hands at the top of your mat. You're gonna bring your right knee down, untuck your right toes, and walk your hands to your left knee. Hips working to be more square. So we want our hips to be opening. We want like the balance of our hips to be equal. So we want the right hip to go more forward. So think about squeezing your right glute more to send it more forward and the left hip back more. Do you notice how they kind of work to square a little more? Like your headlights are pointing straight forward. You can keep your hands here on your knee, or you can raise one hand up high towards the sky. Make sure you're rolling that shoulder back onto your back. So you're not forward here, we're open, hearted. Hips are rooting down towards the earth, square forward hips. Maybe bringing both hands up for a moment. Or keeping the hands down. Wherever you are, take one full, complete inhale. Breathe in, fill up the belly. And exhale, slowly melt everything back down so that you bring hands to either side of your left foot. Scooch toes forward just a little bit, and then send the hips back so you stretch through the back of that left knee, the hamstring. I was on my knee very straight. Coming back to the breath. Good, and then you're gonna just roll it on forward, send it back find your plank position just for a moment. Take a breath, and then you can send the hips up again to find downward facing dog. Good. Next, we're going to bring your left toes up and forward to the top of your mat and straighten both legs. You're going to turn your toes so that they're parallel and find a wide forward fold. So legs are spread really wide. And you're going to bring your toes a little bit more in to pigeon toe towards the center of your body. Okay? And then forward fold all the way down. Allow the head to be heavy, working towards the earth. And from here, maybe grabbing on to opposite elbows. If you're touching the earth like I am, maybe bringing the legs a little bit closer and then dangling here. But if you're really high, maybe opening the legs a little bit wider so your elbows, your head is reaching a little bit closer. Bringing the hips a little bit more over the head, body weight a little more into your toes. From here, release elbows and grab onto your ankles from either side. Now we're going to try to engage the upper body just a little bit. So if you can grab onto your ankles, maybe your calves, you're going to engage the arms. So roll the shoulders onto the back again and use your bicep strength to pull your head towards the earth. Forward folding here. And come back to the breath. Go ahead and release the fingertips. Take an inhale to lift up halfway, just halfway off the earth. And then walk your hands back as you reach out towards the front of your mat. Just pivot, go back to plank, and then hips high, downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. From here, we're going to go into the lying pigeon stretch. If, you know what, let's do the thread the needle first. We're going to go into lying pigeon a little bit closer to the end. So come on down. We're going to go back to lying on our back just for a moment. So come to lie on your back. You're going to bring your right foot in front of your left knee. Take your hands underneath the left thigh and keep flexing through that right foot as you pull the left knee in a little bit closer to your a bit that we're going to stretch in our lying pigeon pose, but I think this is a gentle, easier way on the knees as we're just getting warmed up. So come back to the breath. Keep working your right knee away from your face here. Keep flexing through that right foot. It really protects the right knee. Keep working against yourself. Keep breathing deep. Breathe into sensation and allow exhales to really nourish and wash away. Go ahead and release. You're going to switch legs, bring the left foot in front of the right knee, and then bring the hands underneath. Keep flexing through that left foot as you pull the right thigh closer a little bit more to your face. Think about pressing your left knee away from you. So you have that, that counter resistance, and come back to the breath. Allow the breath to really guide you, to be your strength and to be that release. So inhales and exhales equal here. Good. Good. Breathe in. Good, and you'll go ahead and release that, so both knees come on back down. From here, bring right knee back in towards the chest, pull in. And then bring the right knee out towards the side. So in frog pose, we've got both legs out, kind of like this. So this is kind of like a halfway. So you can have your leg up high, like off the earth. You can have it straight, whatever feels good for your hip here. Just opening one side at a time here, allowing gravity maybe to grip the leg and bring it down towards the earth. Keeping right palm on the leg kind of helps to guide it. Gently guide it in the direction that feels good for your body. No pushing, pulling, or straining, just gently allowing gravity to help us open here. One more breath in and breath out. Right knee comes back in towards the heart. Just squeeze it in for a sec and then let it straighten out long. Left knee in towards the heart, squeeze it in, and then open it out towards the left. You can straighten out your left leg, keep it bent. We're just opening flat through the hips. Allow gravity to grip the leg, maybe keeping left palm on the left knee to just guide it in a direction that feels good for your body. Good, and then from here, bring the left knee back in towards the chest, and then we're gonna take both legs out towards the side. So you know in happy baby pose, when you're holding on to the feet, it's similar, but we're just allowing the hips to gently open. Tailbone flat against the earth, rooting down and forward, flat spine, hips working to open here. Good. Bring the knees back in towards the chest. Hands are going to go underneath the knees. You're going to rock yourself forward. 1, 2, and third time we're coming forward and we're coming to stand. Yeah. Rock yourself up to stand. Yes. Okay. Tree pose. Balancing. We got this. Ground yourself. You're going to root through your left foot. The right knee is going to come up towards the chest and squeeze it in again. You just did it lying down. Yeah, get it? All right. From here, you're going to bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh, calf, or ankle. So your foot can be closer towards the earth or maybe a little bit higher. Wherever you are, you're working that right knee back more so that the hips are opening flat. So we got to do this all rooted down on towards the earth. So now we're working to do it standing. Kind of like the way we have to work through things in life. Ground ourselves through it first, get to the core of what it is, and then bring ourselves to stand and try to stay rooted as we walk ourselves through these new things. So use whatever you had worked through on the earth, down here and bring it up. Working the same way, right hip more back. Take a moment here, concentrate, balance. And I just, I try to think, where does my mind go as I work to balance? Foot could be down here still working for balance. Where does the mind go? I encourage you to bring it back to the breath. To use tree pose as an opportunity to practice your concentration. Come back to the breath. And then gently go ahead and release the leg. You can shake it out, let it go. Bring your legs about a little bit wider than hips width. Pigeon them in towards the center, hands to hips. And send your hips forward, forward, forward. And then gentle back bend. Release the neck back, breathe in. And then forward fold, let it go. Good. Release from that forward fold, toe heel back, your feet to about inner hips width apart, and roll yourself on back up to stand. Take the left knee up towards the heart, squeeze it in. We'll find tree pose on the left side. So squeezing that knee in, and then bringing the left foot to the right thigh up high, calf, or maybe the ankle. Just avoid your knee and keep working that left knee back. So you're really opening through the hips here. I feel my glutes are fired up in tree pose. So fire up those glutes, keep rooting down through the right foot. Wherever you are, use this opportunity to stay mindful of the body, but come back to the breath. The breath will really allow you to find stillness and meditate and concentrate in this pose. Good, keep working that left hip more back, more open. Good, and then we'll gently release, let that go down. Now we're gonna go back into downward facing dog. So come on back down. You're gonna bring the right knee up high towards the sky and bring your right toes over towards the left. So you're opening through the hips. The hips are stacked, knee towards the sky. Roll the ankle around. Roll the hip around. Find any movement that feels good to you here. You can reverse directions. Never feels good. And then comes the stillness. Bring the right knee forward. We're going to go now into a pigeon stretch. So bring the right knee so forward to the top of the earth, to the top of the mat. Place it on the earth. Right knee a little bit closer to the right wrist. And then you're just going to slide your hips on back down. If this doesn't feel good to your hips or your knees, or this doesn't feel good at all, you can always go back into the line, thread the needle pose where we're on our backs. We're still opening through the outside of the right hip. If you're here in the lying pigeon, lift up on your fingertips and lift out of your waist. Yeah, sitting up nice and tall, working the hips again to be more square. So right hip more back and left hip more forward. If you can, if you have the space, you can walk your fingertips more forward. And then maybe the forearms down towards the earth, staying here, breathing. Or maybe the forehead down towards the earth, but move easy and gentle there, just slowly with the breath. Don't push or pull. Allow the breath to create the ease in this space, you know. This is a really great place for us to practice just having patience and allowing and not forcing our bodies, you know, to be anywhere they're not ready to be. So be gentle and easy here and just watch your breath. Keep rooting their hips towards the earth, right hip more back and left hip forward. Maybe feel like a gentle body scan to like notice if you're holding tension anywhere through the body, maybe in your toes, like uncurl your toes, and maybe your brow is frowned. So just find the places where you're holding tension and release there. Good, go ahead and gently walk the fingertips up from wherever you are. Release that, walking fingertips back up to lift up out of the waist one more time, and then tucking the right knee back to go back to downward facing dog. Pedal out through the legs. And then the left foot is going to reach up high towards the sky. And you're going to bring those left toes over towards the right so that the hips stack on top of each other. From here, roll through the ankle, roll through the hip. Find any movement that feels good to you here. Maybe straightening out the leg and, you know, just find any movement that feels good. And maybe you find a good spot that feels, want to stay there for a sec. Just take this moment to listen to what your body needs, what feels good. And then come to stillness. And then bring your left knee forward towards your nose, and then forward, 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 so that's really close to the left wrist at the top of your mat. You'll untuck your right toes and find that pigeon stretch on the opposite side. And if you're in the thread the needle, of course, switch sides. Walk the fingertips by the hips so you can sit up nice and tall. Shoulders stacked on top of ribs, ribs on top of hips, nice and tall. And then as you breathe out, you'll release and you can maybe walk the fingertips more forward. Maybe staying lifted up here, perfect, fine. Just breathe deep, slow, deep breaths so you can find the space to open here. Maybe walking the forearms a little bit further down, heart closer towards the earth. And again, working those hips to be more square, so that you're not falling too far over to the right or too far over to the left. Make sure that you're in that center line here. We want to be mindful in our hip opening. And as sensation rises, we want to greet it with the breath. So again, come back to your strong Ujjayi breath, that victorious oceanic breath that you can hear. Because in hip opening, you know, the thoughts, the sensation, stuff comes up and it can get loud. It can. Greet it with breath, and that breath can be powerful and loud, you know what I mean? So what if their breath was louder than the thoughts that came up while we stretched our hips? A lot of stuff comes up because we hold so much within the hips. Memories. Lots of memories. Greet it with a breath. Wash with breath. Inhales to create space and exhales to release. And as you breathe in, we will gently release by walking the fingertips back up, closer to the hips, lifting up out of the waist, and then sitting the left leg back. We'll press ourselves back to a downward facing dog and pedal again out through the feet. Good. Rolling the body forward once to plank, and then lowering all the way down, belly on the earth. From here, we're going to lift the heart off of the earth. Keep the fingertips up close underneath the shoulders. Toes come together to touch. Inhale to roll the heart off the earth. The hips press in towards the earth. Send hips more towards the earth. Like you could press your hips through the earth itself. Lift up a little bit higher. Keep breathing. And exhale to release. Good. From here, grab onto your feet from the back. So bend your legs and grab the top of your feet. We're going to go through a gentle bow pose. So chin is going to start planted on the earth. We're going to be kicking into the back of our hands with our feet and raising our heart off the earth to make a U shape. So it's a pretty dynamic stretch. If you're already feeling like, okay, where I'm at right here, this is good. That is okay. You can stay here. Keep sending your hips to root down towards the earth, okay? If you'd like to go a little bit further, kick into your hands and inhale to raise your heart off the earth. Keep breathing in, keep kicking into your hands. Yeah, so the thighs lift off the earth, the knees lift off the earth. The more you kick, the more you lift. Kick your feet up high towards the sky. Good, and exhale to lower everything back down. So now, come back to the breath. Bring right knee out towards the side. Arms can be in whatever position feels good for you. Can you guys see my legs? There we go. The lying frog pose, so we're gonna just do this half frog. Might feel good to use your arms as a pillow, fingertips as a pillow. Allowing hips to work open with the prop of the earth. Should feel good to allow the breath to slow a little here. You're safe, you're doing great. Now switch sides so that left knee comes up towards the chest. Like an L shape. Come back to breath as you're rooting the hips down towards the earth. Good, and then we're just gonna straighten out the left leg. You're gonna press yourself up to bring your feet out in front of you. If you're on a mat like that's long ways, you can turn if you want, but we're gonna go to a wide-legged straddle. So open your feet very wide, seating wide-legged forward fold. So we're doing the same we did at standing. We're gonna do the same thing on earth. So you're gonna walk your fingertips first sit up nice and tall. So we want our heart to be lifted here as we walk ourselves forward. So first, sit up nice and tall, heart forward, and then slowly walk fingertips a little bit more forward to stretch to the inside of the hips. And if you need to bend your knees a little bit, that's okay. They don't have to be perfectly straight, but work to flex through the feet. So you're working to get there. And perfectly fine to stay here, lifted up tall. Just stay with the breath. Maybe walk fingertips forward. Keep flexing through the feet. Maybe walking the forearms down to the earth if you have the space. Don't push or pull. There's nowhere to be. You're right where you're meant to be. And thank you for being here. Truly, thank you. Good. Slowly walk the fingertip back up to center wherever you are. And you're going to reach towards your right toes with your right hand. Reach forward and then reach up high towards the sky with left fingertips and maybe up over left ear. Right elbows to the inside of the right calf. Reaching there, working there. Try to keep your shoulders stacked on top of each other so your heart space is more open. So instead of curling over this way, roll that left shoulder onto your back so your heart is open. You can breathe this way. Yeah. As you breathe in, reach up high towards the sky to come back to center. Reach over to left toes, right hand towards the sky, and then over the right ear more. Keep that right shoulder stacked onto your back more so you can open, peel the heart more open. Keep flexing through the feet and keep breathing deep. One more breath here. Before you inhale to roll everything back up, reach up high towards the sky one more time, and let's reach forward once again. Wherever you are, you don't have to go all the way down. You can stop wherever you are. You're going to feel your glutes fire up. You're going to feel your core fire up. And then gently come back up. Did you do it? Try again. Okay, sit up nice and tall. Roll everything forward. Everything's going to fire up. You got to use your muscles, your leg muscles. Keep everything lifted. Or maybe you go a little bit further. Hold it. Ooh, yeah. And then come back up. I felt that. Bring the palms of the feet, the backs of the feet together to touch. Now we're going to bring the body a little bit more forward with a cobbler stretch before we get on our back. So sit again nice and tall, just like we did at the beginning. And then you're going to peel your heart a little bit closer to your feet this time. So shoulders, again, stacked onto the back. And allowing the heart to melt a little bit closer to the feet, maybe bowing the head to the heart a bit. Good. Inhale to walk yourself back up and then roll on down onto your back. You're going to counter stretch all that beautiful forward folding through our hips by getting our hips up towards the sky. And back bending just a little bit. So plant your feet on the earth with the knees towards the sky. Feet are going to be about inner hips width apart and have your heels just close enough that you could graze your heels with your fingertips. So not too close to your bum and not super, super, super far away. Just close enough, and raise the hips off the earth for bridge pose. By pressing the heels down towards the earth like roots, press your hips a little bit higher. Keep breathing as you raise your hips a little bit higher, maybe walking the arms underneath your seat, interlacing hands underneath your bum, and using them as assistance to raise the hips a little bit higher. So the hips open as we reach our sacral chakra towards the sky. And just come to the breath. A little engagement here. Slowly release the hands as you melt the hips back down towards the earth. Let the knees sway side to side, right to left, then the left to the right. There we are. We'll go for another round to bring the feet back to stillness, knees towards the sky. Press the heels in towards the earth and raise the hips up. Hands reached underneath your seat. Keep reaching the hips a little bit higher. Still breathing. Maybe raising the hips so high off the earth that your heart lifts off the earth as well. And then slowly melting everything comes back down. Again, you can allow the hips to sway or the knees to sway side to side. Good. Going to bring the knees up towards, or the legs straight up high towards the sky, and cross the right knee over the left. To find eagle legs, you're going to bring your right toes now underneath your left calf. So you've got two crosses, like a little pretzel leg. From here, scoot your hips over towards the right, and then allow the knees to go over towards the left. Eagle stretch. And then this is a supine stretch, so bring your gaze over to the right and your arm over out towards the right. If it doesn't feel good to have your knees crossed, you can cross them and just supine twist this way. But you can get a little extra good. Open it if you got them eagle legs. Come back to the breath. Keep reaching. I'm sorry, I said a lot of words there. Keep reaching that right elbow towards the earth, the right shoulder. And you're twisting from the navel here. Don't push or pull. Allow gravity to work this twist. Allow the breath to be slow, easy, and gentle. Allow it all to slow down. Good. As you breathe in, you're going to bring the knees back up center, uncross the right leg, legs up high towards the sky, and then cross the left over the right this time. Then, to find eagle legs, bring the left toes underneath the right calf. If you stay here, that's perfectly fine. Working here takes hip opening as we're working the hips. Or bring the hips over towards the left and then the knees over towards the right. Supine twist here. So reach those left fingertips over towards the left and keep rooting so that you can have that left shoulder closer towards the earth. Gazing over towards the left, coming back to the breath. Allow breath to be easy, gentle. And we're going to come on back to center, so bring your legs back up, left leg will uncross from the right. Legs will go up high towards the sky one time, and then squeeze everything back into center. Give yourself a hug here. Squeezing, holding on to opposite elbows, maybe swaying side to side. Giving that low spine a little love, a little massage here. And then we're going to open up the legs to find the happy baby. So grab onto your feet from the outside and bring your knees closer towards the earth outside of your shoulders. You're going to act like you're kicking up high towards the sky with your feet, but also working against yourself by pulling the feet down towards the earth with your palms. So you're going to feel that resistance in the hips. That's good. That's what we want. So as you're pressing the tailbone down towards the earth, keep pulling the feet down. Keep kicking the feet towards the sky at the same time. Happy baby. Find some playfulness here. Maybe rock side to side. You can even straighten out like one of your legs and then the other one if that feels good. Might feel good to just be still and breathe in this hip opening. Keep sending the tailbone down and forward. If it's lifted up here, you gotta pull it down towards the earth, flat against the earth, forward and down. Keep working to breathe. Stay present. Good, go ahead and release your happy baby. Give yourself one more hug, pulling the knees in towards the center of the chest. And then we're gonna release the legs. For more hip opening in our final rest, you can bring the palms of the feet, the back of the feet together to touch. And have like a wide restorative pose, or you can have the legs long on either side of the mat. Taking a moment of stillness at the end of our practice. Whatever variation of the final resting pose, the savasana that you take, allow your body to really be at rest. To just really be still. Just for a moment. Good. We'll start to awaken our hearts again by bringing our awareness back to our breath. So start to increase your inhales and exhales by depth and duration. Bringing awareness back to the physical body, wiggling fingers and your toes. From here, we're going to stimulate these nerve endings in our body by bringing our palms and our feet, the back of our feet together to rub. 72,000 nerve endings in our hands and feet. So we're really waking it back up, coming back to the body. Yeah. Rub them together. Release and bring your hands underneath your knees again. We're going to rock. Rock once, and twice, and then 3 times to come up to sit. You can be seated on a block or bolster again, or maybe in your hero's pose. Whatever comfortable seated position you'd like to sit in, your hips are nice and open. Coming back to stillness. With new opening through your hips. Allowing yourself to just notice, gently observe the places in your body where there's warmth or tingle, sensation of opening, any sensation you notice or observe. Because we come to this practice to build our awareness, our self-awareness. So be open to whatever you feel, whatever you find there. Allow the breath to breathe it in, create space for it, and then whatever it is, allow the breath to help you let it go. Take a deep inhale, sit up nice and tall, really breathing in. And exhale, bring the hands to your heart center just to seal your practice and gratitude for your time, your effort, your breath, your body. I'm so very grateful for you. Thank you for being here. Namaste. That concludes our happy hips. I hope that your hips are very happy this morning. Thank you for practicing with me. Okay, Kelly there. Hope you guys are feeling good. I don't know if you guys have access to the chat on here. I'm not sure.
I am here.
That's a wrap.
Yay, thank you so much. I don't know if you can see me. Can you?
I can see you. Yeah, I can see you. Is this chat public? The people that took class
can see the chat.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to. Oh, Ella, thank you. I hope your hips are feeling good.
Yay.
I have not roller skated